task of parenting can be even harder when the parents are basically children themselves, we'll show you some of the youngest parents in the world. We can't conceive of a better way to stay connected to the richest than by clicking subscribe and turning on your notifications. Lena Medina. Let's start out by talking about the youngest confirmed birth mother in medical history. Lena Medina was only 5 years old when she made history by giving birth in her home of Lima, Peru. When her parents noticed her swelling abdomen, they first feared that she was developing some sort of tumor and brought her to the hospital. The initial doctor who examined her couldn't believe his eyes and called in specialists who confirmed that little Lena was 7 months pregnant. Because of this unusual and shocking situation, her story was carefully documented by physicians. Of course, everyone was wondering who the father of Lena's baby was, but he was never identified. Because of Lena's small size, she gave birth via cesarean section and her healthy baby boy entered the world. The boy was named Gerardo after the doctor that had attended to Lena during her pregnancy. He was brought up believing that his mother was his sister until he learned the truth at 10 years old. As for his mother, she was psychologically a normal 5-year-old and usually preferred playing with dolls rather than her own child. Lena later married and even had another child 33 years later. She and her husband now live a quiet life together in Peru. Sherry Johnson. Although she was twice as old as Lena Medina when she gave birth, Sherry Johnson was still a child at 10 years old when she told her mother that she was pregnant. The father was an adult member of her church, creating a horrifying situation both morally and legally. Her mother did the rational thing and asked how Sherry felt about marrying the man who had impregnated her. Regardless of how young Sherry felt, a Florida judge agreed to approve the marriage between a grown man and a child in order to end the criminal case pending against the church member. At 10 years old, Sherry gave birth to a daughter, and when she was 11, she married the man who had impregnated her. Although that was the first birth, it wasn't the last, and Sherry would go on to have a total of 9 children with her now ex-husband. Unsurprisingly, their marriage didn't last, and after years of misery, Sherry finally gathered the strength to leave for good. Tyler Barker. When the world first heard that baby-faced 12-year-old Alfie Patton had recently fathered a baby himself, everyone was shocked. The mother of the child was 13-year-old Chantel Stedman, who gave birth to a girl named Maisie Roxanne. Alfie and his family hoped to do the right thing by Chantel and the baby, but in a truly Maury moment, it was later revealed that he was not the father. His family believes that the allegation was a ruse by Chantel and her family to gain lucrative media deals. So who was the real father of little Maisie? While young Alfie had once proclaimed that he was Chantel's only boyfriend, several boys had come forward admitting that they could be the child's father. It ended up being 15-year-old Tyler Barker who broke down sobbing when he heard of the paternity test results. He admitted to hooking up with Chantel Stedman during a drunken one-night stand when he was only 13, which is a statement that should have been uttered by someone much older. He claimed that it was the only time he had been intimate with Chantel and called the incident the worst mistake of his life. Sean Stewart. Sean Stewart was just 11 years old when he got his next-door neighbor, 15-year-old Emma Webster, pregnant. When the pair were dating, Sean would climb across the roof just to meet up with Emma after dark. Although the pair used protection, the condom happened to break one fateful evening. Initially, Emma thought she had come down with a stomach bug until she learned that she was pregnant. Sean even got the privilege of skipping school for the day when his son was born just a month after his own 12th birthday. His son, Ben Lewis, was born healthy, but becoming a new father was just the start of Sean's troubles. Emma vowed to complete her education despite becoming a mother. She eventually got married and went on to have other children with her new husband. Despite Sean's youthful statements about staying friends with Emma, he left school in his early teens and traveled, never staying in one place for long and not visiting his son for years. Sean was occasionally on the wrong side of the law and ended up serving a 7-month prison term for theft. April Webster and Nathan Fishborn. April Webster became pregnant when she had just become a teenager. She was 13, the same age as her boyfriend, Nathan Fishborn. The pair met at school and their relationship quickly became physical.
Quickly because they want to see what you have. Kids are curious, so it's only natural. But some really awful people know this and are taking advantage of the fidget spinner craze to get more victims for their evil deeds. Typically, we think of perps luring in their victims with promises of a van full of candy or something similar. In June 2017, a man named Chad Ralston was arrested in St. Mary's, Ohio, after it was discovered that he was using fidget spinners to lure kids and have them get closer to him. Once they approached him, he would expose himself, much to the kids' horror. Ralston managed to pull this off in 2 different parks before he was arrested and charged with public indecency and importuning. In short, Ralston is going to end up living life as a felon since he's a shoo-in for a guilty verdict. So next time some stranger approaches you saying they have cool fidget spinners, you might want to run in the other direction instead. See, this is why we can't have nice things. Theft. If you're not living a life that's following the law, then you might want to try to behave yourself as best you can and not commit any more crimes. You never know when that one slip-up could lead to your demise. In this story, fidget spinners ended up being the breadcrumbs that led to the arrest of 2 people. In Cocke County, Tennessee, a woman named Sabrina Ashley Martin stole 4 fidget spinners from a Shell gas station that were worth a total of $41. Thanks to surveillance video, police were able to track down the car, a 2005 Hyundai, and get the license plate number. The car was eventually spotted, and the driver, named Timothy Dale Coleman, told the police where Martin lived. When the cops arrived, Martin took off running down the street, but she was eventually arrested for theft and evading arrest. Another guy took off running as well. His name was Joseph Ray Jacobs, and he threw away a black duffel bag in the process. The bag had meth and other drug paraphernalia in it, so Jacobs was arrested and charged as well. This all started over Martin stealing over $40 worth of fidget spinners. Who saw that coming? Lil Driver. Thanks to the massive fad in toy craze, it seems that fidget spinners are becoming good cover stories too for when you want to get into some mischief. In Indianapolis, Indiana, a mother was arrested after she let an 8-year-old child drive her black 2008 Ford Fusion. Why? The kid wanted to drive the car. Unlike any reasonable adult, 23-year-old Sherry Cummings said yes instead of no. She told the boy's mother that they were going to go out and buy a fidget spinner, but instead it was a joyride gone bad. Police got a call saying that the black car was all over the road. When they finally arrived, they saw the car swerving all over traffic and nearly hitting 3 cars, including the patrol car. After getting pulled over, Cummings, who was sitting in the passenger seat, grabbed the steering wheel and yelled, "Go!" Well, the cops eventually caught the car and Cummings was arrested. Then it was revealed by the boy that Cummings wanted to teach him how to drive. Either way, a child shouldn't have been behind the wheel, and using fidget spinners as an alibi wasn't the smartest choice. Did you know that fidget spinners could be so much trouble? Alright, let's take a break and we shall exercise your brain with a quiz. A university in the United States claims that they have made the smallest fidget spinner. What school is it and how big is the spinner? Stay tuned to the end of the video to find out the answer. Call the cops. What happens when you're in trouble? Kids, especially the young ones, are told to call 911 should they ever need help. Of course, over the years, we have been treated to adorable 911 calls where the kid needs help with a recipe or being forced to eat vegetables by their parents. In Aurora, Illinois, a 6-year-old boy lost his fidget spinner on a neighbor's balcony in June 2017. Because the boy didn't know what else to do, he called 911. Instead of scoffing at his plea for help, dispatchers sent 2 officers over to assess the situation. The balcony where the fidget spinner ended up was vacant, so the police officer named Jeff Parrish and Sergeant Doug Podschweit decided to go above and beyond the call of duty and help out the boy. They got a ladder and—
But then why do you crave my touch? I wish you were so